Modern Warfare 2 is finally here, and it's finally time to complain about a new COD again. Now, I'm just playing, but I will say there are a lot of questionable things in this game. Now, just to start off, I don't think this game is bad by any means. I actually think it's pretty good. It's definitely not as bad as people have been saying it is, but I also know that is because this is a new shiny COD, and I'm gonna be a little more biased towards it because it's in that honeymoon phase. But regardless, it's not as bad as people are making it out to be. And while I do like it overall, as said, there is a lot of questionable things in the game. Of course, if you've seen any video of mine, you know the usuals in this game: no dead silence as a perk, minimap not working like normal, the incredibly high time to kill, the SBMM, and etc. And just like always with Infinity Ward, all of this is here. Now, the dead silence thing I still think is the most important thing here, since people are still sound whoring even though the footsteps have been drastically reduced, and it gets quite annoying sometimes. And I know for people playing comp in this game, S&D is going to be a snooze fest. Regardless though, I still do think dead silence should be added, and if you want to hear more on my opinion on that, you can watch my dead silence video after this video. But for the rest though, I can forgive most of it. The minimap though, while I do think it would make the game 10 times more fun if they just made it normal, I can't get past it though. Since the UAV makes the minimap normal and people get it so often, and you don't see Ghost as much since it's such a late level to get, and most people aren't running it in the first place, and with a new perk system, which I hate by the way, it prolongs that. And basically, once you get that UAV, the first couple minutes of the game, it's pretty much like having a normal minimap. Now, in a couple of weeks when everyone is max rank, I'm sure this is going to be more annoying, but for now, I can get past it. SBMM is still whatever, it's here to stay. My only problem with it mainly is that the system gives me some horrible teammates that do nothing besides be target practice for the other team, but then it also gives that other team just a group of superstars. If you're gonna give me that strong skill base, at least make sure my team is up to skill with me. I don't need little Timmy playing with me and John with 3 kids that just got off work playing with me. Like, give me an actual team if we're fighting another team that's gonna try their balls off. But regardless though, moving on, the time to kill is still incredibly inconsistent in this game, just like Modern Warfare 19. Some guns shred you before you can even ADS because of that slow ADS time, and just because the gun just shreds you that fast. But other guns on the other hand, they just 3 burst someone in the head and you basically did nothing but tickle them. That TTK is super annoying, and I honestly think if they just added 25 to 50 more health to players, it would be fine and would make everything just a bit more consistent. Other than that though, there really isn't that much bad with the game. I will say my main problem are the maps so far. Some of them are alright, but a lot of these are just horrible maps, and there's only 10 of them since they took the museum map out of the beta, which would have made 11. Now, I'm not sure if Infinity Ward has been paying attention to the community much, but I thought we got our opinion out that we don't want such a little amount of maps at launch after Cold War and Modern Warfare launched with like a combined total of 16 or so launch maps. And what happened with that? Well, Vanguard launched with 16 maps at launch, and everyone was incredibly excited about it. Honestly, one of the only things I remember positive from Vanguard at launch was the amount of maps. And it's not that we need this many maps at launch, which should be the normal by the way, just like it was back in older CODs, but the problem mainly here is that most of these maps that are on launch in recent years just suck. If this game just launched with 10 solid maps that were all good and made sense, I would have no problem because the maps wouldn't suck. But these maps suck. That one map, Tarak, however you want to say it, it's just way too big and camper oriented, and that stupid border map just sucks. Everything is a head glitch on that map, and it's so hard to find enemies with all the cars that blow up and kill you half the time. I honestly don't know how you mess up a map like this too, since it's literally a straight line, but leave it to Infinity Ward to screw up literally a line, and it's only one lane too. Really, the only maps I like in this game were the beta maps and the F1 map. The rest I wouldn't be mad about if they got erased. And the fact that there's no map voting again just makes it so much more annoying because you just have to basically lobby shop for every map. I still don't know why they don't have map voting honestly. If anyone, literally anyone could tell me any logical reason for that, I would applaud them and admit defeat. Overall though, most of these maps absolutely blow, and it sucks that Infinity Ward kinda blueballed us in the beta by putting the only good maps in the game in the beta and getting us hyped thinking the maps were actually going to be good. But other than that though, I really don't have too many other complaints besides the unnecessary complexity of the game and a couple of other things. And what I mean by the complexity though is that the incredibly bad UI makes it so much more annoying trying to figure out what the hell is happening. Trying to figure out how to do most things in the game like join friends, customize your account, and just so much other stuff is just mind-numbingly annoying with this UI. Also, the new gunsmith is tediously annoying. I don't mind the new camo system besides the bad UI having to scroll to the right for 30 seconds, but the gunsmith itself makes me want to uninstall the game. There's just no reason for all of this. And now if you have been watching me for a while, you know I like to talk about how not every gun needs 50 plus attachments when not even half of those attachments get used because you can only use 5 of them, and usually the last few attachments you get are incredibly overpowered. Well, now there's damn near 50 attachments in one category. When I scroll to the very last attachment in a certain section, it shouldn't be taking the game over a second and a half to get to it just by auto doing it. It probably takes like 5 seconds if you're doing it yourself. It's just so unnecessary in the whole attachment tuning thing. It all makes no sense to me for no reason. Yes, it's cool to have these features and it's all in depth, but it's 6v6 COD. For making the game so casual, you shouldn't be making the attachment system so complex. The only reason I would ever want to see a system like this in COD is for that DMZ mode, which is supposed to be like Tarkov. This would be a great system for that mode if it's gonna be like Tarkov, but for 6v6 COD, no, I don't care. Just give me 5 good attachments on like a 35 attachment weapon and I'll move on with my day. Overall, really, I just don't want to have to spend 5+ minutes trying to figure out what to use, how to get them, and how to tune them, and so on with my guns. I just want to be able to put on some attachments and play the game. And also, I can't make a review of the game without talking about the lack of everything, just like every other COD. This game truly feels like an extension to the beta, and while I'm not trying to say the game itself is bad, I'm saying not having any challenges in the game besides the camo grind is abysmal. There are no calling card challenges, no operator challenges, no nothing. There's not even a barracks or record section of the game. You have no leaderboard, you can't see your KD, and it's just all over the place. The game is just missing so many basic features that it just hurts. I mean, hardcore isn't even in the game yet, like come on, that should just be a standard. It's the reason I say it feels like an extended beta. All that's really different here is that there's maybe 6 more maps, some more game modes, and some more guns to use. That is literally it. It just does not feel like a complete game at all. And that's to be expected with COD games, don't get me wrong, but there shouldn't be this many missing things at launch when they're just the standards. Other than that though, I will say the game is fun. The gameplay and mechanics are all fun, and I'm genuinely enjoying myself grinding out this game and getting some camos. Of course, there are matches that are still frustrating, but nothing is making me want to get off the game immediately like previous years of CODs. If this COD just had some more maps and made some slight changes, I would genuinely believe this would be the best COD in a while. And now don't get that twisted, doesn't mean the best COD of all time, just like the best COD since like Modern Warfare 2019 to now. Just some simple changes, because after Black Ops 4, COD really took just a downfall in quality. But of course, if you have not found out by now, these games usually fall short every year just by an inch or two. And overall, with all the dumb problems in the game, I think in just a couple months, if Infinity Ward takes care of this game in the 6v6 aspect and doesn't dump it for Warzone 2, that this game can be addictingly fun. So far, it's just like a better and faster Modern Warfare 19, and it's just unfortunate game design choices and just a lack of maps and a lack of good maps at that that's holding the game back. Honestly, I would love to see some ghost maps return to this game like Sovereign, Octane, Warhawk, maybe a couple others. I think they would play perfectly for this game, casually and competitively, and with basically every map coming under legal fire due to their real life counterparts, you really can't go wrong with this. At the very least though, we do need some more maps. I don't care if they're remakes or not, I just can't stand some of these maps, and 10 of them is just not gonna cut it. And if you're asking yourself if you should pick up this game or not, honestly, you should really just ask yourself some questions of if you want this game or not. And now what I mean by that is that this COD isn't a sweaty and cracked out sweatfest like the last 3 years of COD, which I know turns some people away, but it's something you should consider. Personally, I'm really liking this game right now and would recommend it to people, but I also know I like it because I'm playing casually in pubs and don't have to try nearly as hard because I don't have to worry about slide canceling demons that can't shoot straight. I'm just casually playing getting camos, and it's actually kind of fun. Don't get me wrong, the sound whoring, the time to kill, and the squad spawning, and the horrible maps are definitely ruining my vibe sometimes, but I could get past it because those things with COD you just have to get past. But I also know if you're more of a competitive player, this game is probably going to be a nightmare. Now, I haven't played any GBs or CMGs yet, but I know fairly well that S&D is probably just going to be a sound whoring contest with everyone waiting for Deddy to ready up, And I know the respawn logic in this game is going to be mind-numbingly annoying to figure out with that squad spawning and that high time to kill on top of that. So if you're trying to get this game to be sweaty in pubs, I mean, you could do that, but it's going to be way more casual like an old school COD, which I personally like, and that might sway you away. And if you're going to be a comp player, I mean, chances are if you're a comp player, you already have the game and you hate it. But if you're a comp player and you're thinking about picking it up, it's probably not going to be great because Infinity Ward isn't very good at making competitive games like Treyarch is. So basically, just ask yourself some questions before buying this game. And if you're still wondering after that, I would honestly just recommend you wait until sale to pick up the game. Again, this is 100% the honeymoon phase of the game, which is why I'm really enjoying it. And I remember really enjoying Vanguard 2 during this time, so we'll have to see if this game can stand the test of time. But I truly believe that Infinity Ward, if they just don't make any unnecessary changes anymore, like that perk system, which still sucks by the way, then I do think this game will be the best since Black Ops 4. And honestly, all they have to do is just make some small tweaks, and it'll be there. Now, will they do that? Probably not, but there's always a chance. But let me know though what you think about this game, and if you're enjoying it or not in the comments. And if you did enjoy the video, make sure not to leave without leaving a like and subscribing for more. But until then, see ya.